Hey everybody, Brent here with Nutrition First Coaching. So this is a topic I get a lot of questions about from people, and I've tried to narrow it down to kind of my top 5 that I'm going to preface all this with as we talk about supplements by saying if you're eating a whole, nutritious food diet where you have lots of veggies that grow in the ground, veggies that grow on the ground, lots of good grass-fed, grass-raised animal proteins, then you're going to cover most of the spectrum of this. But I want to give you my top 5 supplements and things that I take on a regular basis and the reasons why. What I am going to leave out of this list are, some of them that I think are very helpful, and all this goes depending on your goals. The number one is going to be like a whey protein or even a collagen and whey protein mix. I take that stuff pretty much on a daily basis, mainly just to cover my protein needs throughout the day because it's challenging to get that much protein just from animal sources. And it's very convenient. So after a workout, I can have a whey protein recovery shake, and that makes it very easy and accessible. The other one that I don't take on a daily basis and I wanted to kind of skim over the top of is a multivitamin. And the reason for this is, there's decent ones out there. If there's a good multivitamin, it's going to mean taking 3 to 6 pills a day because you're going to have to break them up throughout the day to get meaningful amounts of some of the micronutrients in there. Most of the time, there's a ton of fillers. And because it's such a shotgun approach, I think people struggle to find the right multivitamin that really kind of fits in with the needs they have. But if you can find one that works well for you, then maybe you can replace a couple of these supplements that I'm going to talk about with a good multivitamin. Again, like a multi-pill that you take throughout the day, multivitamin. The number one supplement that I think a lot of people use, and it's a great pre-workout, but also just for brain health and fat metabolism, is caffeine. Now I'm going to give you amounts of all these, and by no means am I a doctor. I'm just giving suggested amounts from research and literature I've read and what they talk about for dosage wise. I would say on a lot of these with micronutrients, get yourself tested, see what your micronutrient levels are. Even if you're in that healthy range, like a good one is vitamin D, the last one we're going to talk about. And even if you're in this healthy range, that can be from like 30 to 80 micrograms of vitamin D in your body. And if you're at 31, you're still in the healthy range supposedly, but does that sound optimal? I mean, for me, I'd want to be in the middle or the high end on some of these to know that I'm really getting enough in my body, and we'll talk about why as well. But back to caffeine, 60 to 120 milligrams. This is going to give you that wake you up kind of feeling. It's going to help you metabolize fat. It's going to make your workouts more effective. You're going to get more out of them. Therefore, it's probably going to help kind of produce results a little bit better. Second one is essential amino acids. Now, there's a lot of talk about branched chain amino acids, and those are the amino acids that are found in most animal proteins, a lot of beans, legumes. They're proteins. They're just broken down into this basic form of amino acids. But the essential ones are the ones that we can't make in our body. So these essential amino acids need to be ingested out of our diet. 1 to 2 scoops of these. You can mix them even with like a carb-based powder if you're doing longer runs or workouts. 5 to 10 grams is roughly what 1 to 2 scoops will come out to be. These are pretty dang cheap in general, so a pretty cheap supplement that can really help out, especially if you're a vegetarian or you don't eat much in the way of meats. EAAs can really be helpful. Number 3 is krill or fish oil. Even a combined pill of this can be really helpful. And this one goes back to like, okay, how much do you get in your diet of these omega-3 fats? And it comes down to finding the right ones too, because a little example here is 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA. So these are the kind of broken down acids and amino acids in the krill and fish oil. And a lot of times you're going to get a brand like this, and I kept this one because it was a bad buy. And it's your basic fish oil pill. It's 1,000 milligrams. So it's really only providing 250 milligrams per giant pill of EPA and DHA, and it doesn't even break down into how much of each one. So to get that 1,000 milligrams, you're gonna take 4 of these guys a day. So you're choking down quite a bit of fish oil for that. So find a good quality one. Usually liquids are better, they just don't preserve as well. They're hard to keep from going rancid no matter what you have, either pills or just liquids. But this one can help a lot, joint health. It helps a lot with digestion. And it's one of those fatty acids that we need to kind of balance out with some of the maybe not so good omega-6s and 9s that we get, and kind of keep that balance of omega-3s. Number 4, magnesium and zinc. And I put these guys together because they're something that we're typically pretty deficient in. They're tiny little micronutrients, but they are involved in hundreds of processes in our body, and very important. Magnesium's good for digestion, relaxation, muscle recovery. Same with zinc. And you might see these in a form of what's called ZMA. So that's something that can be kind of pushed as like a recovery supplement. I love this magnesium supplement. And this is where you get into the weeds on some of these things, because there's literally 7 different kinds of magnesium in this supplement into different forms. And 2 pills of this in the evening is what you're supposed to take. So even when you just get into magnesium itself, there's many different forms of it. Same thing with zinc and vitamin D. So 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium is kind of the recommended dosage, and then 50 milligrams of zinc on a daily basis. The last one, and probably the one that I've researched or looked at the most, and every time I learn more about it, I feel like I know less about it, is vitamin D. This is one that literally like 900 to 1,000 processes in our body require vitamin D. It's something that our bodies can produce from sunlight, which tells you right there that it's got to be just absolutely critical for life if we can actually metabolize it and turn it into a vitamin, which is kind of a loose term in this regard because it's really more of a hormone in our body and how it acts. Pretty much everybody's deficient in vitamin D, just like these other ones. Get tested, see what your levels are at. And this is where vitamin D, it needs to be kind of in a specific form. Most of the time, and this is a decent brand too, D3 is what you're gonna get. A lot of experts will say to combine this with vitamin K to really metabolize it into your body. Somewhere in the realm of 1,000 international units to 25 pounds of body weight. So you can kind of do your own math on that. I had my levels tested. I was in the mid 30s. So I wanted to get them up. I got them into like the mid 50s, and I take about 5,000 IUs, which is just one of these pills per day. So tons to know about even just these 5 supplements. And yeah, there's a ton of other things out there, between creatine, which has been tested, thousands and thousands of studies. That's another great one. But for the ones that I think give you the biggest bang for your buck, and the ones people tend to be most deficient in, these are the ones that I always go to and that I recommend for people. So check out your levels, see what you need in your life, and let me know if you have any questions. Like and subscribe to us. Sorry about the hot water heater kicking on, but almost got it through. All right, have a great day.